Hi everyone, I'm Allie from Paint&Go Studios, and today we will be focusing on one of the Seekers from the faction box set, the Conclave of the Spheres from the game Malediction. In this tutorial, we will be showing you how to paint your model from start to finish, so that it is ready for battle in just a few easy steps. Let's get going.
Matt will be painting Londriel. For the list of paints, please check the description below and follow along with the colors as they come up. Your model should look like this at the end of this tutorial. With the model primed in white, our first color will be AK Silver. Using a medium brush and a 1:1 ratio, you want to cover all the armor and her spear front and back. This is how it should look by the end. Then with Kantar Blue and a fine tip brush, this is where we are going to paint her entire tunic underneath the armor. Starting from the bottom, make sure to paint the skirt front and back, the sleeves, and her neck. Paint consistency is 1 part water to 1 part paint. As you can see, this is how it should look. If you do end up spilling some of the blue onto the armor, don't worry, you can always touch it up with the same silver used in the first step. Do this step before applying a flesh tone wash to the face. You can use any shade of your choosing. Here, Matt is using Rakeland Flesh Shade. Black panel liner will be used to shade the armor. The reason why Matt is using this versus non-oil is to achieve a darker effect in the recesses, but you can always use non-oil to get a similar effect if that's all you have available. Liberally applying this straight from the pot to cover all of her armor, hair, cloth, and weapon, avoiding her face and base. This is how it should look. Next, we will take Balthazar Gold and Flesh Terror Red to make a rose gold color. You will need to mix 4 parts gold to 1 part red to achieve this look. This will be used to paint all of her armor details, starting with her chest piece and moving on to Londriel's relic helmet and halo, like so. Once these are completed, you will then apply the color to the trim of her shoulders, as well as her thigh armor. This is how it should look at the end. For the weapon, we are going to paint the very bottom, the handle, and parts of the tip of the spear. For beginners, only paint as much trim as you are comfortable doing, as there is a lot. Matt has painted the main parts of the trim for the most effect in the fewest steps. We will now take Xandri Dust and Everland Sunset for the hair. Mix 1 part Xandri Dust with 1 part Everland Sunset to 1 part water and paint it over the white prime. If you want the hair more yellow, add more Everland Sunset, and if you want your hair more lighter, just add more Xandri Dust. Please make sure you are applying a good amount of coverage. Once that dries, take Agarath Earthshade, watered down, and apply it into the recesses of her hair, like so. Using Abaddon Black with a fine detailed brush, paint her gloves and block out the eyes. We will add the white to them later. With Cadian Flesh Tone, we will start to pick out the higher details of Londriel's face, which is her nose and cheeks, as seen here. Shyish Purple will be used for her lips to give some depth. This is how your model should look. Using Corax White and a fine detailed brush, we are going to pick out the whites of her eyes and come back with Abaddon Black for Londriel's pupils, completing her face. We will now take Frostheart Blue and, focusing on the base, mix 1 part paint to 2 parts water. You will use a medium fine brush to glaze the warp fire and the water. At this step, the paint should go on smooth. Make sure it is evenly covered and try to avoid the stone. Once this is dry, take Bahareth Blue and with a small dry brush, lightly go over the top edges of all the Frostheart Blue. Making sure to wipe off any excess paint from your brush, the coverage should be around 60 to 70%. Your model should look like this. Switching over to a fine detailed brush, we will take the same color and paint the 2 gems on her headpiece and the gem on Londriel's weapon. Don't forget to also do the gems in her hair, like so. Using Nuln Oil and a 1:1 ratio, you are going to do the stone of the base with a medium brush, which will complete the look. To further highlight the model, we can use U-shaped bone for her hair, like so. And use Hoff Blue to highlight the cloth painted earlier. This will give Londriel's some depth. Make sure in this step to use the side of your brush, as this will help you to catch the edges of the blue cloth only. AK Silver can be used to go over the top of all the metallics, including the rose gold. This will give it an easy shine effect, as seen here. With Corax White, dry brush all of the blue and gray on the base. You want to achieve around 20 to 25% coverage. Remember to wipe off as much excess paint, as this is supposed to go on lightly. For the very last step, use Abaddon Black in a 1:1 ratio to paint the rim of the base. If you followed all the steps with Matt, your model should look something like this.
There you have it. Polynor and Londriel are ready for battle. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, like and subscribe to stay tuned as we will be painting all the models of each faction.